The Mediterranean diet.
Love it.
Is it the best diet in the world? And is it real?
So I am not an epidemiologist. It seems like the diet in and of itself, like if you're living in Denver and you live, I don't know, 30 miles out and you have a 2-hour commute every day and you're working 60 hours a week and you don't have social relationships with people around you and you smoke, like you can eat as much olive oil as you want. That ain't going to change your heart. So the diet by itself, epidemiologically, it doesn't seem like it changes a whole lot. The lifestyle, more. If you're eating that diet and you also, like us, are walking like miles a day up and down hills and you walk by, I don't know, the cafe and you like say hi to Riccardo.
Ciao, Riccardo.
Ciao, Riccardo.
Riccardo, come stai?
Ci vediamo domani. It seems like the diet plus the social context and like the geographic context, like topographic context of like walking and doing stuff. But I'm a historian, so like I can't weigh in on the diet. If you ask me, is the diet real? I'm going to take that question as, is this a diet that most of the people around the Mediterranean have eaten for most of time? That's an easy no. Like, first of all, Mediterranean, right? By last count, the Mediterranean had a whole bunch of countries around it, half of which are Muslim and have been for centuries, if not millennia. Well, they weren't drinking a glass of red wine every night. Also, like, one of the things is meat. Among the meats are pork. They weren't eating pork either. I don't know. Also, if you look at the diet, it's basically, and this is why it was invented by...
And real quick,
Yeah.
I'll just say,
Sure.
as my basic, if I were to open up a magazine, like Mediterranean diet, what do they say? What would Giada De Laurentiis say? The Mediterranean diet. Buy my book, buy my pre-made sauces. This is from a specific region in Italy that I've never been to. It would be pasta, fish, olive oil, fresh vegetables, light meat consumption. Again, the fish, a lot of fish.
Some
Small
legumes.
portions.
Some legumes.
Yeah, beans. Very little bread. If it's bread, it's like whole grain. Not a lot of fried stuff. And it makes, really pretty pictures for magazines and Pinterest and stuff. And it'll let you take the picture with the big pants, like you're 2 sizes smaller and everything like that.
And it's good. Like, that sounds like a lot of good food that I want to eat.
It does. And they've been eating like that in Italy for hundreds of years.
So where
allegedly.
Where do you get the Mediterranean diet? It's from an American, Ansel Keys, who basically invents it in the 1950s. He's the guy, I don't know, have you ever heard of K rations for the army?
Yeah.
Ansel Keys invents the K rations during World War II. So Ansel Keys looks at people's incidence of heart disease, and he finds that people that eat this diet in Greece and Italy and some other places, he does a little cooking of the data, but basically they have lower incidence of heart disease. And he's like, why do these people have so much less heart disease? And he says, it's because of this diet. Again, I don't want to get into epidemiology of it, but he is looking at what Italians, especially in the South, are eating in the late 50s. I think his book comes out in 57. What's the story? Italians in the South in the 50s are just starting to have more money because of this economic boom. So they can finally afford a little bit of meat. So the low proportion of meat in the diet is not because they're like, to be healthy, we want to have less meat. No, they're just like the Italians that emigrate. They want more meat. And in fact, as soon as they can afford more meat, they do eat more meat. People in the South are not like, you've been in the South. Are they like, we need to stick to our traditional diet, so we're not going to eat? No, they want a freaking steak like the rest of us. But they still, so they have a little bit of these modern things that they can afford, like meat and fish. People live in the interior, can't really afford fish until the 50s. But they also are still eating a lot of vegetables and legumes because they have to. Because they have more money than they did 10 years before, but they don't have enough to leave the legumes out. I love legumes. But I eat legumes once a month. I don't make that many soups with old-fashioned peas, these ravella. I love them, but I eat them once a month. People in the 1950s in the south of Italy are eating a lot of legumes because they have to, because they can't afford that much meat. They need to get protein from somewhere. So basically, Ansel Keys, who's not a historian, he's a nutritionist.
Sorry.
He takes a snapshot of Italian food in the South in the late 50s, and he thinks that's historical. And it's not. And the thing is, before that, 40s, the 30s, people aren't eating that diet. They can't afford meat. And even after that, already in the 60s and 70s, people aren't really eating the Mediterranean diet anymore. It's this snapshot that's like back projected. But it's cool, you know, like these bronzed Italians that are like on the beach and they're like eating grapes and a little glass of wine and not too much meat. It's like the diet we all want to, and smoking, of course. Well, that's very healthy, actually. You know, it helps you burn the calories or something. So no, like it isn't historical. It may be good for you, but it seems like the most recent research, as far as I can understand it as a historian, is you can't just have the diet. You got to have the things that we love every day too.
Yeah.
Walking, interacting with people, seeing your friends, just walking through the streets.
Yeah. I think the docu-series, the Blue Zones or whatever it's called on Netflix, did a good job of hitting all these points, because you think these blue zones with all the, what are they called, centenarian?
Yeah, the like 100-year-old.
Everybody, the first thing they think is food, 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 food. American food is all processed, Mediterranean, Italy, Sardinia. It's all the food. That's like one of the 6 pieces of the pie, or 8, whatever it is. It's everything you just described. It's daily exercise, old people walking up a ton of stairs just to run their errands. This is what they do. It's being social. It's taking care of the elderly and the social benefits that come with that. It's all of these things. It's a slower paced lifestyle. It's taking breaks. It's all these things.
There's a guy that goes to the Cafe Turan in the main piazza of Perugia. I see him probably once a week there. And especially in the warmer months, usually we'll have a little chat, or he'll pay for my cappuccino, I'll pay for his. His name is Paolo. He used to be a director of a bank here in Perugia. He's probably in his early 70s. And he gets up every day, and he lives down a little bit down the hill. He like walks up and, you know, gets his paper, comes over, has a coffee. I bet he has like another place he has a coffee later in the afternoon. But like, I don't know. I've never invited him to my house for dinner. He's never invited me to his house for dinner. I mean, our tie is a weak tie. But I think I'm one of the 20 people that he talks to in the day on that like weak tie level to like, I don't know if it's like dopamine or there's something in the heart. I don't know what it is, but I really saw that in the pandemic, where I used to go into the history department I worked in and I'd see Mary McConnell every morning at like 7:30. It was just the 2 of us in the building. And I'd always go in and be like, Mary, what washes up on very small beaches? And she would say in a Boston accent that I cannot replicate, she'd say, Zach, you're not funny. And I'd say, Mary, you know what washes up on very small beaches? Microwaves. And that like 30-second interaction, Anthony, really, during COVID, I just didn't have that anymore. And it was like Mary McConnell was one of the 20, 30 people I would have that interaction with. There was a guy that at JP Licks in Harvard Square, the coffee shop, and I used to say, he'd say, do you want a medium, right? Like medium roast, medium size? And I say, yeah. Can you put a little bourbon in it? And he would just laugh every time I said it. He was like, oh yeah, I'll put some bourbon in it. That, whatever that did, like that's part of the Mediterranean lifestyle that you and I enjoy every day. Mm-hmm. That's important. And it's way more important than olive oil for me.
Yeah.
I like olive oil, but I don't think it's the whole thing.